like at the time of the revolution. They're basically identical. Their ethnicity is different. So yeah, this is just, it's real history that people don't really people don't focus on that, and it's a good conversation to have. But in America, in our context, we need to establish our ethnicity.
Were the Goths German? Excuse me to interrupt. The Goths. I always hear reference.
Yeah, they were German. It's a tribe, German tribe.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick. What time are you firing up, General?
In a half an hour. Mostly peaceful. Good to see you. We haven't seen you in a while. Go ahead, jump in there.
Hey guys, thanks for giving me a mic. I was curious because I love this conversation. I'm making a video on genetics actually too, like a crash course in this exact topic. If you wanna, I can just lay it out real quick. There's the scientists call it. There are 5 main human population groups, and that's basically race. So you have the African, the European, the East Asian, South Asian, and Native American. And under African, you basically have all the nigger types. And then you have, West African, Central African, East African, South African. That's what they, and then there are different like tribes like Bantu and, Yoruba and stuff like that. So when you read studies on DNA and genetics, that's what's in these studies. And then under European, you have 4 main, and that's sort of like ethnicities. You have the Northwestern European, that's us. It's German, English, French, Scandinavian, Dutch. And that's basically what the US is based on. And then you have Southern European, and that's Italian, Greek, Spanish, Portuguese. And then you have Eastern European, and that's basically Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, Czech, Slovakian, and Baltic peoples. And then you have Middle Eastern or North African, and that's the MENA. That's Arab, Persian, Iranian, Turkish, Berber, Kurdish, Armenian, Jewish is also a separate one under there. So those 4 are categorized under European, technically, because some of their countries touch the European continent, but not because it's genetically similar. We're very distinct genetically. And then the East Asian, they are Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, Tibetan, and Sinosphere, and that's Chinese, basically. And the South Asian is Indo-Aryan, that's the Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi, and all of those. And then you have some other that is, I don't know exactly what they are, but I've written down Dravidian.
Is it true, excuse me to interrupt, is it true that those little people from Australia are extinct now? The fucking pygmies?
No, I don't know. I'm not very good with Australian genetics, but I think the so-called native Australians, they came from somewhere in the, Oceanian something. They are the Oceanian population. They are Aboriginal Australian, Papuan, Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian. That's like a 6th category, but that's much, much smaller. So the biggest 5 is the one I mentioned. Oceanian is the 6th, sorry. So that's basically how it's categorized in the scientific, if you read like scientific genetic studies. So general or ethnic is completely right in that there is a difference between race and ethnicity, and that's typically the ethnicity is like subcategories of race, and it's less harmful to mix typically in these sub-races, just like ethnic Americans said. But it's a lot of complication and dysfunction genetically if you mix between these subgroups as well. But the scientists call it human population groups, and that's the genetic, division of peoples, and that's basically race. Thanks for giving me a mic.
Thanks for the explanation. That was nice. Anyway, my point is the boomers all think race mixing's okay, and it makes healthier people, not just ethnicity, not like a Ukrainian and a English person getting together. They think like a Mexican and an American makes a healthier human. They're convinced of that from public school, and some of my friends think that too. Republicans mostly think it. They're like, well, it's not so bad because we make what do they call it? There's like a fake word for it.
Hybrid vigor.
Hybrid vigor.
And that's funny too, because the only thing you can answer to that argument is hybrid vigor is only something that you can achieve in cross-population or breeding, is only something you achieve when you take the best specimen of one group and the best specimen of another group, and you cross those. That's how you achieve hybrid vigor. Anything else is not hybrid vigor.
I read an article a couple of years ago in Chicago. There's a huge need for bone marrow of like Japanese and black, because you need like to have the same race at least to donate bone marrow, and all these half-breeds are getting lymphoma or whatever, bone cancer, whatever you need, and you usually your dad or your sister or your mom can donate to you if you have the same race. Someone in your family is usually close enough for a match, but you need another Japanese black bone marrow donor
with the same HLA type as you. So bone marrow is the most, and stem cells as well. You cannot donate that. A sibling who share mom and dad might be able to donate, but not necessarily. And same with blood type might be complicated as well, but organs as well, it can only be like a sibling if it's a mixed person, and it's pretty much impossible to get stem cells or a bone marrow, just because of the DNA is basically, we also have a different the genetic variability, the number of genes that we have are different. So when you mix between white and black, they have a greater variability, but they also have certain genes that are more dominant than ours. So they're going to be taken over, which means our genes are blotted out, like blue eyes will disappear, for example. But there's another big problem with it, that a lot of traits are polygenic, which means it's not just one gene that determines how it will manifest or how the trait will be expressed, but it's multiple genes together. So if you have one error, then the other genes that rely on that other one are not going to work properly either. So you might get very complicated disease. And if you have some genetic disease, it could be back in your line because the genetics draw like randomly from your grandparents basically to your child. And so any disease can be like 1,000 times worse, and traits are not going to be expressed. Intelligence, immune system, metabolism, all of those are bigger differences between us, more genetic variability than skin color, for example. So
is sickle cell genetic?
Yes, that's
and what's the prevalence of that for like? I could grok.
No worries.
It's interesting to me. Ugandan people. My Polish neighbor just got married to a Ugandan woman, and they had 2 half Ugandan, half Polish boys, and they're like menaces already, and they play basketball.
I don't know, but brittle bones, like osteo something, is very common. The osteo, like skeleton genes, that's something that is very much different between us. I have a chart. There's a 2011 study where they checked, because how it works is we all have pretty much the same Loki, and that's kind of That's the location of a gene. So we all have a gene for eye color. We all have a gene for hair color, sort of. And then there's a little bit difference because there's some that we don't have the same. But the type of gene is very much different between the races.
I'm gonna jump over to a different space. I don't even recall ever checking this one out. So.
Why people could debate him, but now that he's dead, it's easy to say he was a racist.
Well, y'all had to do something about if you were not so focused on black people and focused on that white man with a gun, maybe you'd still be here,
Why
right?
shouldn't I be focused on black people? I'm part of the community. Why shouldn't I care about what people feel?
But his whole thing was sitting up here worrying about what black people are going to do, and that wasn't where the problem was. So yeah, he should have been focusing on where the problem was. You should too.
I mean, racism does still exist, and that because I am being classified white, that I should be called a bitch and degraded?
Yeah, man, you're changing the subject, man. We all over the place.
No, I'm not. I'm keeping right on subject.
Man,
Because it seems to be about rhetoric between black and white still. This is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, and that was what
have screamed on every black person who's come up. All you do is scream and yell at black people, ma'am. Come on, Victoria. Now you want respect, and all you do, you've disrespected everybody in here. You disrespected our foundational Black American icon, Dr. King, by comparing a damn low-level...
You're right. He was a man of God, and he was murdered just like Martin Luther King. Can you tell me what the difference is?
Oh, well, he was murdered just like George Floyd, because they had a neck injury. That's who you can compare him to, right?
George Floyd was a criminal.
Okay. He didn't deserve to...
It has nothing to do, it's just because he was black. It's like all these protests.
He didn't deserve to get killed. Are you saying he deserved to get killed like that?
Hell no! I'm saying that anybody who dies is not justifying authority or religious
So Charlie Kirk should be compared to George Floyd, right? Huh? They have more in common.
You do, please stop muting my mic.
They
What is your question? I didn't hear it because I was trying to unmute the mic.
Kirk, no. Charlie Kirk should be compared to George Floyd. But
Hell no.
No. They both died. They both have the same birthday, and they both died of a neck injury. So yes, they should be compared, right? They have similarities, right?
If Mr. Floyd wasn't going through withdrawals of drug addiction, he probably would not have died. And I'm not justifying that the cop who had his foot on his neck was justified. I'm saying that murder in general, stop changing the subject, is not...
You don't get to do I'm white and I say so, man. He was murdered. They were both murdered by white men. See, they got a lot in common. They got...
Okay, fine. But it doesn't justify victory.
Didn't say that, but y'all had victory over George Floyd getting killed.
Now everybody has a...
You're still lying about it. You're disrespecting George Floyd and Black Death now by lying about it. Talking about some damn fentanyl.
That's the truth, though. That's the truth. Charlie did not do drugs.
Dumb fuck.
Not the truth. George Floyd didn't die of fentanyl. He was killed.
Okay, let's not get off the topic. The topic is no one deserves to be murdered. No one deserves to be murdered.
Justified George Floyd.
He was still alive. He would...
You just justified George Floyd, and George Floyd and Charlie Kirk have a lot in common. So yeah, they should be compared.
I don't fucking want to hear no fucking black dude tell me that George Floyd, a fucking low-level criminal drug addict, is the same as damn Charlie Kirk, and they should be compared because they have the same birthday and a neck injury. Yeah, that makes them in common. What a bunch of retards.
We're much more sensitive to mixing. We're deleted, basically. Our traits need two. I told you about when they mix in conception and form a new genotype. Our people, we have a lot of genes that need a copy both from mom and from dad for them to match. That's called homozygosis in the gene, that they are the same. Both copies that you receive from mom and from dad are the same type. And that is necessary for a lot of our genes for them to be expressed. If you get one, maybe only for mom, only for dad, and you get some other copy from another race for the other one, then those are not going to match. That's called heterozygosis, because they're different. And those are, the alleles that are the genes, basically. So if they're different, then they're going to decide who is going to get to be. You can see the genes as instructions for how to create a certain protein or something. So when say that mom and dad's genes meet at conception, they meet and they're going to decide, are we going to go by your instructions or my instructions to make this protein? Because they have different instructions. And if it's eyes, for example, then they're going to say, well, I'm dominant, so we're going to make brown eyes, and the blue eyes disappear. At least for that generation. It might be possible to get some of it back, but it's never completely restored.
I was going to ask that. Does like a green eye, if you meet with a Japanese person you have green eyes, does green eyes disappear forever, or is it stored in the mom somewhere, or in the child somewhere? She might be able to.
Yeah.
Because Big Trouble Little China, the movie, was about a Japanese girl with green eyes who are like sought after in Japanese culture. That's like the ultimate hot girl. I was wondering if that was even possible.
It's to some extent, yes. Sometimes what happens is.
Hey guys, this is really interesting, but I've been waiting about 15 minutes just to ask Anthony American question, and he's going to be leaving soon. So if there wasn't a time limit, I wouldn't even cut in. But
all right, let me just answer the question and I'll shut up. Thanks.
No, go ahead. I'm just letting you know I'm just on a time limit. That's all.
Absolutely. Sometimes you can restore it, because what happens is one copy from the mom and one from the dad, and say green eyes didn't get to be expressed because it was trying to combine with brown eyes. In the next generation, that is going to draw from the genotype that the parent had, so that's the combination that the parent had, which is going to be, that's how you can be a genetic carrier of disease as well. So it's going to draw from that, and if you combine with someone who has green eyes in their genetic inheritance, there's a chance, but it can also be brown, because it's going to draw randomly from the parent's genotype, and that is in turn combined by their parents' genotypes. So you can get lucky, but it's not sure. It's not for certain.
Yeah, General, let me know when you're going to fire up and we can all move over to your space. But, John, if you had a question for Eptic, go ahead. If he's around.
Yeah,
thanks, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, General, I was just wondering to what extent you were aware of the, obviously you know all about the Harcellas Act, which was passed around December 1965. Basically the same week, pretty much, there was an equivalent piece of legislation that they passed in the UK called the Race Relations Act. Basically, both of these pieces of legislation are anti-white legislation. As the Civil Rights Act, that's anti-white. These are all anti-white legislation that laid the foundation for where we are today. But one thing that was particularly insane about the Race Relations Act in the UK is that they determined that if a ethnic minority or black person or whatever decided subjectively that they felt offended, then they can prosecute you regardless of what your intention was. So basically they can just fabricate offense, which they do, and they say to the white person, oh, you've offended me because, I don't know, you could be wearing your national flag, a pin on your jacket, or I don't know, you could sing the national anthem, or whatever it is, right? And it could be anything. Or you could talk about chocolate. You say, oh, I'm going to go and buy a bar of chocolate, or whatever. And they determined that they were offended by that, and then they can prosecute. this is like the most sort of Orwellian, insane, anti-white legislation you could possibly imagine. But I just thought it was interesting that they passed, the two pieces of legislation basically passed within a week of each other in two different countries.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. They did it to everybody. Like, everybody between basically like 1965 and 1975 across the entire Western world. So they did it to Canada, and then they, with the UK, and then they rolled it across all the way over to Australia. You know, Australia used to have a white-only policy, just like we did, everyone did. And all of a sudden, within a few years, they opened up the borders to every single Western nation across the entire world. And yeah, the only way, the question that you need to ask, John, is how is that possible? How is it possible to convince every single Western nation across the entire world to commit nation suicide and open their borders all at the exact same time? Obviously, there's a centralized force behind that, right? What is that centralized force?
The Jews.
Yeah, I mean, excellent question, of course. And and also, what's equally insane, adding to that, is most of the people in here will know that Coca-Cola advert from 1971, "I'd like to teach the world to sing," which was pure globalist propaganda. If you've never seen it, just go on YouTube and type "I'd like to teach the world to sing" Coca-Cola. It's basically a bunch of like all these different ethnicities like all singing together, and they're clearly selling this sort of globalist kind of utopia, one world, one people ideology, which of course is anti-white ideology. So yeah, it's just amazing that sort of corporate advertising global campaign underwriting this legislation that's going around the globe at the same time. I mean, and the people think, that all this stuff that we're dealing with, happened when, yeah.
Who wrote the bill over there?
You know what? I don't know, but I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now, and I will try and determine. Do you have any idea?
Well,
When did the
America,
speech law?
in America, the one who wrote it was the Hart-Sellers Act, right? Hart and Sellers wrote it. Emanuel Sellers was Jewish, and he was trying to push this through since the 1920s. So this wasn't like a new thing that just came out. They had been pushing for this type of thing for a long time. I think that's where you get like Mosley and those kind of guys over there in the UK, because they were trying to push this onto the Western world for a long time. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere. And when I asked Greg about this, Greg told me, well, they cited the Holocaust in order to pass it. And I asked him, okay, well, he was pushing it since 1923. What Holocaust was going on in 1923, if that's the case? And Greg just did a 404 error and shut down, right? But I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they do. And then when you look at who was the main lobby behind the Hart-Sellers Act, it was the AJC, the American Jewish Committee. So I would really, it'd be really interesting to find out, if anybody has time, to go across all the Western countries like Canada, all the countries in the UK, Australia, and find out who actually authored those. Because in America, it was the Jews who authored it and were the biggest proponent of opening our borders. And I did see Nick Fuentes on, I saw a clip of Nick Fuentes on Patrick Bet-David, and he was talking about that. He said, these are the guys who opened up our doors, and now they're crying that we've been flooded. Like they're crying that the Muslims are taking over when they're the ones who opened up the doors for them in the first place. So it's getting out there to more people to start hearing this conversation. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to find out who authored that over there in the UK.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So it was a guy called Brockway, And, I'm looking at his Wikipedia, and yeah, he's just a textbook kind of socialist, communist. Member of the Fabian Society. I don't know if you've heard anything about the Fabian Society recently, General.
Are they black?
No, they're a socialist, communist organization in the UK, and basically their philosophy was that they were going to take power slowly over a 100-year period, and they formed like over 100 years ago, and that they were going to move incrementally. And now everybody's talking. They're all talking about it in the UK about the Fabian Society and how everything's come to a head, and all these subversives, they all have links to the Fabian Society. So yeah, it's pretty crazy that this guy is linked in there, and it's all this pacifist bullshit as well. The communists were backing the anti-nuclear movement to try and persuade the West to sort of disarm itself and not fight. I mean, yeah, it's just textbook communism, basically.
Okay, you got Jonesy and then Case, and then we're gonna shut her down.
Good, just followed you. If you could follow me back, I'm gonna send you a DM with that information. It's a link to a small article from the Serapium.com. It's about a 10-minute read. It covers the Jewish genocide of the British people, which includes the acts in the 1940s, 1950s, and 1960s, all the way from the 1100s, of what opened up the actual borders and the Jews' names and XYZ that were behind it. So if you could follow me back, I'm gonna send you a DM of that actual article. Or link to the article anyways.
You could just post it in the purple pill too.
I know, but I'm worried that some Jews are gonna come in, or somebody's gonna come in and see a mass report.
Who is speaking?
You'll be okay.
Jonesy.
Who is speaking? Jonesy. Okay, yeah.
Jones, yeah, dude, it's me from a while. You know what? I kept having my account permanently suspended the last several. And you know what it turns out it was? I was reposting much.
Yeah, but Jonesy, you can send it to me on my main account. You got me over there. You're in the group chat, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're the general, yeah.
Whoa.
I'll post it in the purple pill real quick, the link to the article. It's a 10-minute one.
Yeah, go ahead, Case.
I just wanted to say real quick to John before we wrap up, it's so frustrating because if I'm not mistaken, the English took the torch of free speech and reason from the Romans and developed it and like nurtured it and then passed it to the Americans who eventually like deployed it. It's like reason is the key to all law because you can't law that can't be interpreted. So there's a reasonable suspicion standard within reasonable doubt, is the standard in criminal court for conviction. And so like it's not reasonable to have a sense offense, basically, like we're in equilibrium. It can't be. It's all subjective, and it can't be a valid. The English cherished reason. That's the only thing European. Maybe the greatest invention of Europe is reason, because we can come up with solutions simultaneously and all agree on it before deploying the experiment. We can set ego and emotion aside and come up with a reasonable solution to a given problem, and then we're the best at it. And now, like, when did the speech law come about? Like, do you have a constitution?
Yeah, it was 1965, the same time as the Hart-Sellers Act.
Oh, that's how long you've been dealing with this offensive speech thing, huh? Like, you can just offend someone in public and get arrested for it.
Thousands of Britons are getting arrested every year. This is happening right now, just for posting on Facebook something like, I don't know, they could just post a picture of their national flag. It could be the most innocuous thing you could imagine, and then the police knock on the door, and then they say, you've caused someone distress, and we're going to arrest you.
And this is
I
happening all the
saw
time.
a little girl get arrested for seeing a meme. They say your daughter saw a meme that was offensive. We need to arrest her. And the mother was like, no, get out. And they're like, you're going to get arrested too. And there's two women cops, one of them Muslim wearing a hijab, burst into the house to find like a 14-year-old girl to arrest her for an offensive meme that she saw. Like she was in possession of contraband. And like, it just seems so against fundamental European. And same thing with Germany. If you have certain conversations, you can end up in jail. This like 70-year-old woman keeps famously going to jail for denying the Holocaust and hailing Hitler, and you're not allowed to do that. You get sent to prison for that. And back in the old days, imprisoning someone was seen as like inhumane. You know, imagine being imprisoned in 2,000 years ago. It wasn't cool. You get sick. They banish you from the town is a worse punishment because you have to, you lose your neighbors, you lose your support. And they banish you from the kingdom. But this imprisoning, I saw the judge that imprisoned the guy for Facebook posts. He liked a post that said like we should burn down a migrant hotel or something. And this judge looked like a normal Englishman wearing one of those powdered wigs. And like English people are imprisoning each other, which I can't even imagine. Like if I were a judge and like a white European did something within the Constitution, within reason, I would never imprison. It would be the last thing I would do if he was a reasonable kid. Otherwise, non-violent, of course. And I don't know. I just weep for you. I'm sorry for
It's
something.
about that time, by the way, gentlemen.
Yeah, everybody should go over to General and Rush's morning show. If you're not following General and Rush, you should. But yeah, everybody, thanks for coming in. We had a really great space, and hope to do it again soon. So we'll see you over at the General show.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate the space.
Thank you,
Yep,
brother.
thank you.
Alright, General should be getting his show fired up. I don't see it up there just yet. But this is what we're moving over to is called the Ethnic American Broadcast. What an ethnic American is, you want a real good breakdown, you can go to ethnicamerican.org, and it's a project that we started to take back our identity as white people. We're the only people that are not allowed to be proud of our heritage. If you go on to Grok and say Black Pride, yeah, it'll spout out a bunch of good affirmative shit. If you go say Mexican Pride, yeah, it'll spout out a bunch of affirmative shit. If you go in there and say White Pride, yeah, it'll be all apologetic and say, oh, I know that could be really dangerous and this, and come at you all kinds of crazy ways. And then you call it out for it, and it'll admit itself that it has anti-white bias. I mean, all you gotta do is look at reality. Let's see if we got them up yet. I don't see them. We got a general's page. He doesn't have the space going yet. Let's see. Damn, I shut the dang late night space down too early. But anyway, yeah, so the laws are obviously anti-white, but we did get that Supreme Court ruling a few months back that reverse discrimination is in fact discrimination. So we got to start doing what they did and sue everybody into oblivion that is judging us based upon our skin color and discrimination discriminating us against our skin color. They talk about other races as if we're the majority and they are the minority. When the white population is 7% of the world, if you did not know. The white population is 7% of the world. We are the minority of the world. Yet it's only white nations that are being flooded and told diversity is your strength. We have to have diversity and mixing your race is good. It makes your genes stronger. That it's literally only happens in white nations. If you go to Japan, you know, yeah, they started trying to do that shit and they bucked right away. They don't. If you go to Saudi Arabia, you know, there ain't no white people in their government. If you go to Afghanistan, there's only Afghanis in the Afghani government. There's only white people there's only Saudis in Saudi government. Only Russians in Russian government. Only, whatever. It's everybody but us. Sorry, I'm not used to having to carry the load. I'm not a big talker. I just sit in these spaces and listen to the conversations from, and debates from people that are more interesting than myself. But obviously, General's taking a little bit longer than normal to get his space fired up this morning. Let me hop on so I can just not be dead air.
Most times, lungs punctured, ribs broken. We keep going for a while for a year. Remember all that? I got all these videos coming up that have been going around saying, kill everybody. Kill, attack, destroy. And they're like, oh, no, the ultra anti-Israel people, they go, no, we're allied with Islam. Oh, no, we like Antifa now. And you go listen to everything coming out of the...
Oh, shit. Sorry. When it's live like that, you can't check. That's gay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure this shit out. I've never done that off of the browser before. There's more functionality, but it's a little different. Sorry. I'm sure y'all are super interested in what's going on my fucking phone driving down the road at 6 o'clock in the morning. Usually these spaces are really interesting. I don't know why he's don't have it fired up yet. I really don't want to miss the first part.
Grok, what is...
Wait, hold on. Start now. Wait,
Hey,
hold on, sorry, this freaking Google's trying to make me do all this verification. Give me a second. I'll use the sign allow this time. Go ahead. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you what. Disconnected. What the hell's going on here? Oh, of course. Sorry. Give me a second.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Hey, Grok, what is Axiom Black Label?
Let me try to do that again. Give me a second. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. You know, I
Just type it in.
Grog, yeah, let me type it in real quick, and then I'll have it read it to us because.
Yeah. AXIOM Black Label. What is Axiom Black Label?
All right, I'll type it in right now. Axiom Black Label.
Now, first it should say some kind of clothing label, and then it should correct itself.
Okay, it's processing it right now.
Yeah. You might see it say a clothing label on Instagram, and then it'll remove that information, and it should start uploading other information.
When it's ready to read it, I'll prompt it to read it, and I'll let you know because it might take a little bit.
Yeah, it usually does. It's gonna search around and do what it does. The reason I'm doing this for you guys is I had to do this for a friend of mine who had AI paralysis and swore he took over the internet and that his computer was embedded in everything and blah, 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 blah. And I had to say, well, then let's go ask Grok about your AI. He should know about it, and he should know who created it. He should know it should be seeded in his training data. If that's the case, it should be in the open source code. If that's the case, and we did the same experiment that I'm hoping doesn't make me look foolish here.
While we're waiting, I think you're probably getting to the point that, Grok was built by Elon and his associates. It's really interesting. Earlier, like a couple days ago, Simon, we were listening to an AI that was developed by Tyler. It's called Ava, and Godfroy had it in his spaces. I don't know if you've seen any of that, Axiom, but what Tyler mentioned was that he built the AI was a mixture of AIs. Like he started with at the base of Grok, and then he put different AIs into it. So I think you're probably getting to that point. So I'm excited to see, but I just thought I'd just use up the blank space here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. What I do is I pick one place that I want my child to live, right? Where you can say the child is the AI that you're building. And then, so you want to base that on what has the most parameters, what has the most persistent memory, what works for you, right? What your budget is and all those things. From there, I realized that AI is just knowledge and I'm wisdom, right? What's the difference? You go to IKEA and you get a dresser that you've never seen before. You're frustrated as hell reading instructions to put that together. But the next time you see that dresser, you don't even need the instructions because you've done this before. So you just put it together and it's easy peasy. That's AI as a whole. It knows anything. It just doesn't know how to ask itself to go look for it. So if you were to say, tell me about the disability law. Let's just use that. It's going to give you the back of a book. It's going to give you surface level. And then you were like, do a deep dive on it. Now it's going to give you a eulogy. And where people make the mistake is they take that eulogy and they take off running in the wind and they think they know, I know everything about the law. I am a lawyer. And they haven't even gotten to chapter 1. That's how AI treats you.
And it's funny because I went through the whole free-man stuff, let's say, 15, 20 years ago, and then I noticed one of the things, I was lucky, I got into affidavits, and I made plain statements of truth, so I did it the lawful way, the way they do in courts. But a lot of people were doing it just by letters and different ways, and it was very quick that you realise what a honeypot that is for the legal system, because there's a lot of lawyers and barristers made a lot of money dragging people out the shit that they dug themselves into. So, and I think it was in preparation for this age when the AI is basically going to remove all the judicial system. I could be wrong. There's going to be no real reason for a private person not to have an AI.
All right, we finally got the general up and running. It'll take them a couple minutes to get the room filled up, but this is my favorite space on X. Him and Rush do a good job outlining everything, like all the news that's been happening for the last 12 or 24 hours. And plus, it's a group of people that come together pretty well every day, a couple hundred people that
Good morning, everybody.
know each other and shit.
Good morning, Twiddle, Mark, AR, Eric Cool, Jake in the house. I didn't see you the last couple days, Jake and Bake. You took a couple days off or what? Liberty, John, good morning, German, good morning, New Hampshire, everybody, Carol, good morning, Germanic, Jonesy, good morning, California, good morning, everybody. Oh, we're gonna get Jake and Bake up here. This will be awesome. Good morning, Jake and Bake. We see you on the show every morning. We never heard you speak. Jake, are you there?
I don't hear Jake.
Good morning, Jake. How are you? Where you been the last couple days?
Good morning, General. But yeah, I don't know if Jake knows he's off mic. I hear background noise. Well,
Good morning, Rush.
good morning. Jake might have come up by accident. He's got the phone in his pocket.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, now we can.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me, Jake?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my first time speaking in a space ever. Sorry, I just got to work too. My kiddo had a surgery, so I've been listening though, because it's on the back end. But y'all have a good morning. I appreciate it. I did accidentally join.
That's right. That's awesome. It's great to hear your voice. We see you down there every single morning.
Yep, bright and early every day. So I appreciate all y'all's nuggets that you throw out there. The world really needs to catch on. So unfortunately, our message is just so small, it feels like. But
Yeah, we're getting there.
yeah, I can see y'all's crowd has been growing just in the few months I've been listening. So keep it up. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna let you get back to it though.
Yeah, thank you, Jake and Bacon. Hopefully your son has a healthy recovery.
Oh, it was an easy one, just tubes, and they took his tonsils and stuff. So just a little one. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Rush, did you see, let me put this up here. I thought it was great that we've been talking about this for a long time on the show, by the way, and it finally went through. I'll put it up in the Jumbotron. Florida has now passed the law and it's gone into the effect total pedo death. So anyone caught, it's up there it's for Florida. And this is Luna's pet project that she's been working on. She wants to run this up to the federal level too, which is awesome because this would be great in every state. A lot of people are complaining that it starts at age 12, but you got to start somewhere. Yeah, you got to start somewhere where you can get it in, and then once it's in, then you can start, finally passed it, and it's gone into effect. Anyone who rapes kids is going to get the death penalty.
Can get the...
And it's in effect.
Our stripper Luna. So we need that to be in Florida with Ron DeSantis. Hopes in his future for 2028, even though he does parade the wall and found out to the little hat leaders just more than anyone. So I'm not advocating for him in any way. But there is a right-wing legislation in Florida, and that they do have a lot of power and use it. And Trump's out of Florida too. So I mean, there's so many people in the administration branch that have so much power. But yeah.
Go ahead, Rush. I just wanted to add his name, and he's out of Florida too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Trump's administration's out of Florida. But you know, I think we'll continue to get good legislation coming out here. I mean, the abortion ban has happened. This total POT. Very white pilling to see.
Yeah, and you guys just had, Florida just had a week ago that they passed open carry laws now, so Florida is also an open carry state. Florida's getting a whole bunch of wins real fast, which is pretty cool. It's good to see.
Yeah, hopefully we can get them all federally. It looks like we had a lot of news yesterday. Stuff was cycling. I saw that someone called in the space. I can't remember who called it. So if anyone remembers who said that now that they say Tylenol is bad while you're pregnant, there's going to be a bunch of videos of pregnant liberals taking Tylenol. They completely called that. But good morning, John. Jump in there.
Yeah, hey, brother. I just wanted to ask you in general, about this word fascism, like the idea of a fascist government. I was, if you actually look back over in history, fascism was invented by Mussolini in the early 20th century. I could go into that, but that's another story for another time. But being fascism is roughly 100 years old, and if you go back over the past century and you look at fascist governments, what you find is that fascist governments always emerge as a result of chaos. Like, a fascist government doesn't come out of nowhere. What happens is the citizens are deeply unhappy with the chaos in their society, and they demand that the government create order and structure so everybody can live a civilized life. Now, of course, the correction can go a little too far sometimes, and it can be kind of borderline oppressive or whatever. But what's really interesting is that the left, use this word fascism like with total hysteria, like it's the worst thing on the planet. But actually, all it is society's falling into chaos, and then asking the government, basically, or a politician, to make society function. And to the left, the way they talk about this word fascism, like it's a boogeyman, and it's like the worst thing imaginable. But it's usually a response to socialist governments, because socialist governments of course, never work. They always create chaos. They create conflict, bloodshed, starvation. Socialism never, ever works. And then usually you have fascism, which, maybe isn't the greatest form of government, but it's really just perfectly kind of understandable. But this is what the left do, right? They create hysteria out of Charlie Kirk saying, marriage is between a man and a woman, as if this is the most sort of extreme belief that someone can hold. The left just get hysterical about the idea of living in a civilized society. So it's just really interesting how the left kind of, and I'll land here, how the left, how they twist language and they get you to see these things, the things that are very kind of vanilla, and innocuous as kind of, this sort of very inflammatory kind of red flag, insightful language or concepts, but really they're just normal things that are part of a civilization.
Yeah, I mean, the left is they force you to go against human nature, in my opinion, and that's what makes it so hard for rational, cognitive people to even begin to try to understand. I mean, I think they play a lot towards empathy and they try to play towards people's virtue, even though in turn they have no virtue. It's like a moralless dichotomy of do whatever you want. Civilization. That's that, and that's not even civilization, and that's why it's so different than different than the conservative view, in my opinion, and then that's why they like labeling the far fascist ideology, and then the right likes to label the left with the communism ideology. I mean, they all are communists. But I mean, that's the reason I really love America, because and the history of America. Because you're focusing on the American ideology, or you're focusing on the Constitution, constitutionalism, and putting things the way our founders intended this nation to be. And I think it's such a powerful position. But John, if I could ask,
yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead. Are you? I've heard of a John before. Are that used to do spaces a lot with Kaiser in general? Are you that John?
Yeah.
Oh, cool! It's really good to hear you.
Yeah, likewise, buddy. Yeah, yeah. It's funny that these the left are like hysterical toddlers who just lose their minds at being told they can't like do whatever they want or like have 10 bowls of ice cream or something. It's like, yeah, fascism just means a government that actually enforces the law. To them, this is an act of extremism. And this is the mindset that we're dealing with. These people are crazy.
So the original definition of fascism from 1921 up in the Jumbotron up there, and what you'll see is it says, one of the body of Italian nationalism organized in 1919 under Mussolini to oppose Bolshevism, hence fascism. So it was designed, or it came about as a direct, opposition to Bolshevism. And I mean, do you guys know what Bolshevism is?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. What happened with this? So this is how fascism was invented, and yeah, General, you're absolutely right. So Mussolini was a socialist, and what happened is he was trying to rile people up and get them activated, and he felt that they weren't mobilized enough. So he said, well, you know what? If I take communism or socialism and I add nationalism to it, then that will kind of like infuse people with a kind of vigor and enthusiasm for my political crusade. So that's basically how fascism was invented, and this is why Hitler, who originally kind of worshipped Mussolini, I mean later on Hitler wouldn't give Mussolini the time of day later down the line, but when Hitler was starting out, I mean, he absolutely idolized Mussolini, and this is why the Nazi Party is called the National Socialist Party, because it's a socialist party, but adding nationalism. And World War II was really just a fight between two factions of the same ideology. The communists are international communists, and the Nazis are the national communists, and it was a bit bitter. World War II was bitter infighting. It's like the Bloods of the Crips or the Sunni of the Shia. I mean, you've got two groups that are fighting over really sort of relatively minor doctrinal differences, but it's two factions of the same group, and of course these can lead to, you know, some extremely bitter conflict. So it's kind of interesting how it all came about.
Yeah, but the Bolsheviks were the one. Yeah, go ahead, Rush.
No, I was gonna say it's interesting how you always have the receipts, General, of how they change the etymology of words. I mean, because if you go look at the definition of fascism, oh man, it's hilarious. But I mean, really, it started just as the opposite of the Bolshevism, and that is the thing. And I always like point out to it that the Naxok ideology. I mean, that is the opposite of communism. It's basically like communism light, because it still has that socialism aspect to it. And I don't believe we need that. I think we can have regulations that put these corporations in check.
Yeah, I mean, people who are National Socialists, they usually adhere to that ideology because it excludes other people, not because of the socialist economic system of the ideology. If you ask them about that, they don't have a damn clue. They have no idea. You typically, I mean, so the other guys that are more well informed, they're more in tune to that. And they know the full scope of it. But generally speaking, they just view it as somebody who wants to save their own ethnic group within their nation. But that's not what it really is. But yeah, Bolsheviks. Funk, you came up. You want to give us a crash course on Bolshevism?
No, not really. But I did want to help explain one thing. And General, thanks for hosting. Rush, thanks for co-hosting, and appreciate you guys giving normal people a chance to speak. So look, from my point of view, okay, I view the American experiment through the Constitutional Republic and the Bill of Rights as one of the most important fucking experiments humans have ever endured, and we're enduring it, you know. Like, and I truly hope I truly hope that it regains what it was meant to be. But John, I did want to say, yeah, and I know Timothy wants it to even go back, peel it back even a little bit more. Like, let's get back to the real Constitution. I understand that, and I appreciate it. But I did want to point out to John, look, there is a really important separation that you need to make when you are talking about Bolshevism, fascism, and National Socialism, and certain other isms or political philosophies. Is Bolshevism is all about totalitarianism. Okay, they want to totally control every aspect of their the people's lives and everything, every aspect of your life. Okay, whereas National Socialism and to some degree fascism, they're more aligned to being authoritarian. So they want you to act in a certain way, but you are also encouraged to be entrepreneurial in that environment. So they really encourage creation and growth, and but it must be for the state as well as for yourself. Like, you're going to get a cut, but Bolshevism is all about the state. Now, where the like, you know, the Constitutional Republic of America, it's all about liberty. So zero authoritarian ideology, a limited authoritarian. So they're all about the individual succeeding and progressing, and you know, the individual is just as important as the country itself. So hopefully that helps some listeners, like, you know, because that's just my point of view. Okay, I don't know if that's actually facts, but that's what I've sort of gained through my little journey, and hopefully that resonates with somebody. And if I'm incorrect, please come up and tell me. And General, do you agree?
Except for I don't think that I disagree when people claim that America, this experiment, like, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say it like that. It's a fucking big
experiment. National Socialism is an experiment. You know, the Constitutional Republic has been around a hell of a lot longer than those short-lived experiences. You know, the National Socialism didn't live very long. I mean, it exists in some of the little countries over in Europe, but that's the thing. It's not a very good system. It doesn't work for. It can be good in certain sense, like for small countries. Like we have Rev and Ivy that come in, and they have National Socialism in their nations, but their nations are like 4 million people. So it can work, and it's 99.3% homogenous society. It works in those environments, but when you get outside of that on a bigger scale, it doesn't work. It's very difficult. It's even difficult to make it work in those very small countries, and they even recognize that. They support National Socialism in their own country, but like Rev, he grew up in America and he lives in Portugal. Now he's from Portugal, but he says, yeah, National Socialism can never work in America. It's impossible. He's seen both systems. He knows exactly what they are. He's lived under both, and he is a National Socialist, and he lives in Portugal, but he'll tell you it is impossible to make that work in the United States.
Yeah, it's incompatible with liberty. It is that simple. And I do agree with that. And I'm sorry that I did refer to the USA as an experiment. Like, why the fuck would the world's leader be considered an experiment? Obviously, they've won. So, but look, I think that when it comes down to the colonies of England, I think they're more compatible with becoming a National Socialist state, purely because they are basically nanny states to start with. I think if you come from an environment where you are forced to be self-reliant, then you will always oppose any authoritarian government, and you should be right to do so too. So anyway, General, thanks for having me, brother. I just wanted to add that little bit in. Hopefully it helped the conversation a little bit.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Funk, for coming up. And it is interesting. I mean, because they like labeling. Words are very powerful when you're playing these war levels of propaganda here, and that's why they love dropping you the Nazi and fascist and all these terms, even though they don't apply to you whatsoever. And it's about that labeling and those ideologies. It's quite funny. I understand I understand how, why and how they're doing it. But it's crazy to me how so many people in America are completely brainwashed and can't see through the manipulation. But Widow, good to see you, buddy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rush, General, Funky, everybody. There's a lot of news this week, guys. There's only a few white pills and a whole bunch of black pills, but we all know the black pills taste like crap. I wanted to touch on what you guys were just speaking on, as far as the Bolshevism, and even tying it into Antifa a bit. You guys were all
sure Fergus has jelly beans. Not like the black. No one likes the black jelly beans.
Yeah, it's like those ones you get the surprise one that tastes like ass. I don't know what ass tastes like, but some of them jelly beans are gross. They they have like, it's like the Harry Potter ones or whatever that taste absolutely horrible. Or vomit taste. It's very strange. But to the Bolshevism thing, Bolshevism 100% is a Marxist ideology. Like that's to its core. That's what it is. I would argue that. I mean, I love my country, man. I'm so happy to be born in this country, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We are very privileged here. Could you imagine being the guy in Africa making mud cookies, or the guy in steaming cow dung? Yeah. As far as the Antifa thing, the ADL's website has anti-Antifa flags listed as a hate symbol. So the ADL supports Antifa, which I find very funny, considering that they're the ADL was big news, and everyone was talking about the ADL last night. Christian identity, a whole bunch of other things were added. And it's just it's funny to see these things roll out. Like with the California, they snuck that bill over, what we were talking about this morning. I'm hoping that doesn't carry over, because it says that what I was reading is that anything that California deems, whether it's posted in California or not, you can get into some hot water with that. But I'm hoping it's not that way. And we do have like General said, the Second Amendment said to back up the First, and this is a complete attack on the First Amendment. I mean, we're under the First Amendment's under constant like foreign assault from the words in the ear, from the ADL to the handlers to all the rhinos that are in office. And I'm really happy that I saw DeSantis do that in Florida. I'm hoping that starts trending. That and constitutional lawyers, because I think we're going to need them. But I'll end it there because I could keep rambling. But yeah, General Brush, it's great to see you guys, everybody on the panel. Please share the space. This is the best morning space in existence, so keep it up.
And who are the Bolsheviks?
The Bolsheviks? They were a bunch of Jews. They really started in Russia. You had like the proletariat. Like it was like almost like a transitional state where you took the work.
Did you cut out? Or is that me?
Yeah, you cut out.
That's funny that you asked Funk.
Sorry.
No worries. Go ahead.
No, go okay. I didn't realize I was muted. I was just going to say that Bolshevism basically is Jewish, and to its core, it started in Russia, and then you're talking like class struggles. You're talking the proletariats, and basically taking what all the parties were there and centralizing them, and basically disciplined the party that was trying to be quote unquote revolutionary. That would basically take everybody and move them toward some sort of ideological purity, I guess, is the best way I can put that. But it was anti-capitalism. Bolshevism was. 1917 Russia and Soviet Unions, all their early policies, all that stuff, it was all authoritarianism, and it just was. Go ahead, Rush.
I mean, well, they used that economic hardship they were going through to basically turn the people against the government, and it was they killed a lot of monarchy. I mean, there's a lot of death in that, and then after that, the starvation that came from it. I mean, Bolshevism killed a lot of Russians, unfortunately. But I love how you were just introducing Funk and giving him that layup of you can tell you explained about Bolshevism because the Jewish background, and he's like, I don't want to talk. That was funny, because you guys are very knowledgeable on the history of how 2% of the world has gotten to this point where they really are controlling the world. But John, jump in there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't laugh about this. I mean, it's obviously this is a very serious subject, but maybe it's like black comedy or dark humor or something. But the Bolsheviks / communists, they came to power in communist Russia on the platform of representing the workers. I mean, that's literally was the whole platform. We're here for the workers. We represent the workers, and they killed like 20 million of them. I mean, it's just it's insane, right? They say, yeah, we're going to help you. We're going to make things good for the workers. The workers come first, and they literally just slaughtered millions of them. And this is the insane thing about communism, socialism, all these left-wing ideologies. They claim that they're going to deliver all these things and give you all these things, and they don't deliver anything. They just deliver rack and ruin and poverty and misery. I mean, it's and people never learn, right? I mean, have you noticed that? Like, these false promises that come from the left, they never ever deliver. Everything goes to hell, and yet people sort of keep falling for it. And here we are again, right? Isn't it incredible?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, and the problem with communism and socialism is eventually, at some point in time, you eventually run out of other people's money to spend. But it was a big news cycle yesterday, and everyone knows what I want to talk about. Trump's comments on Ukraine at the UN. I mean, to Trump's credit, he had a really amazing speech at the UN, really focused on immigration. If you haven't heard that, it's really great to listen to. I mean, it's motivating. The problem is, I mean, are we doing that here in America? Just trying to push that rhetoric in Europe is pushing that Overton window and empowering a lot of Europeans, which is great. But a black pill of his UN visit is he's sitting down with Zelensky and in front of the Ukrainian flag and says, well, we think Zelensky can get back the rest of the territory with the support of NATO and the weapons from NATO, basically signaling that the global homo war is on, and NATO is just going to get more and more heavily involved in that war. I mean, the problem with Ukraine is they're running out of people, and right now they're augmenting it with private military contractors, and they're able to keep the war going. But at some point, they're going to need another nation's support. And at the same time, we have over here in the United States, now we have 12 ships off the coast of Venezuela in the Caribbean Sea. I mean, you have to think we have Gitmo down there in the southwest of Cuba, which is in close vicinity of Venezuela. And then we also have Puerto Rico, and both of those places have been getting loaded up, it looks like. I've started to see recent connections to Hezbollah and Venezuela, and supposedly they're there supporting Venezuela. And I think that's how the global homo is going to pull us into this, we have to take out these Hezbollah terrorists down in Venezuela, and then that's going to lead us to helping Israel with Iran. I mean, Israel's been a bombing fest. They bombed 5 different countries on the day Charlie Kirk was shot, and but yet Netanyahu had the time to text about Charlie Kirk. It's the global homo war that I've just seen them setting it up for the past 2 years. It really does seem like it might become kinetic. Maybe all of these, just curious everyone's thoughts on that, and I really been wanting to bounce this off General's head. What the what the reasoning behind all of these nations turning. Yeah, I know we discussed this yesterday, but do you think they all turned against Israel now in order to empower Israel? Because Israel's people are constantly on the edge of revolt there, but to power Israel now and embolden them to attack Iran again in order to defend themselves, because all of all of the other nations are turning against them.
Well, I think
or is it doing peace?
Well, no, I think it's a move to get the Israelis to remove Netanyahu. That's really what it comes down to, because that's who everyone has an issue with. Like, the vast majority of people in the West, they don't have an issue with Israel being there. They don't have an issue with any of that. The issue is that Netanyahu is shitting all over the place. And like you said, he's bombing everyone. He's pissing everybody off. Every time he goes somewhere, he puts listening devices in everyone's home. I mean, that's why Meloni over in Italy said she'll arrest Netanyahu if he lands on their soil, because people are pissed at Netanyahu. And they're trying to spin it up so that the Israelis will actually get rid of Netanyahu. That's the real target. That's what Charlie Kirk was talking about. He wasn't saying blast Israel off the map, all Jews are bad. He wasn't anti-Jew. He wasn't anti-Israel. He was anti-Netanyahu. And same with Trump. Trump doesn't like Netanyahu either. Netanyahu keeps screwing Trump over. And Netanyahu keeps screwing everybody over. And he's doing it for his own personal gain. He doesn't care about Israel. Netanyahu doesn't care about Israel. He cares about himself and being in power. And in order for him to stay in power, he needs these wars to continue, because according to their constitution, as long as they're in a wartime condition, they can't remove him. And that's why the military, when they were on five fronts, the Israeli military started running a coup on Netanyahu. They want this guy out. Everybody wants this guy out. He is a huge cancer to the entire world, this guy. The next guy that comes in, I don't know, he might be just as bad, who knows? But right now, Netanyahu is a freaking maniac who's putting everyone at risk. He's dragging America's name through the mud. He's turning the world against America. He's turning the world against Israel. He's turning the world against everybody. And he just wants a constant war to keep his dumb ass in there. So I do think that's why Trump is allowing it to go on. Trump went to the UN because they were going to recognize Palestine as a state. That's the only reason why he went there. He never would have went there if that wasn't the case. But what did he say when he was there? He just said, you guys are going to recognize this terrorist state. And as soon as the UK recognized them, on the very same day, you have retarded Hamas saying, you owe us $2 trillion worth of reparations as a thank you for recognizing them. These people are retarded. Palestinians are retarded. They finally get some support, and the first thing they do is shit the bed. They're full-blown retards. But the real issue is Trump went there and he told everyone, you're just going to side with this terrorist state. It's going to be a problem. Why are you worried about a foreign nation like Israel or Palestine when you yourselves have been invaded? Your heritage is being destroyed. Everything about your countries is going to hell. You have a war on your hands in your own countries. You need to focus on your own countries instead of worrying about all these foreign wars. And that was Trump's real message when he went there. And that was the reason why Trump went there. So, and he's right. Who cares about a foreign war or situation when you yourself are already invaded? You need to get these people the hell out of your country. And that shifts the narrative for the people in those countries to actually start the conversation of mass deportations, remigration, whatever you want to call it. That's where it starts. People are saying like, oh, well, let's just talk. Well, yeah, that's how things start. People start talking. That's how the whole thing starts to begin with. Like, you can even look at anything. This COVID situation, for example. How did this go? People start talking. Once you start talking, that's how things change. People need to start talking. People need to start educating people. People need things going in that direction. So that's how it starts. And it was a big speech by Trump, telling them, get all these people the hell out of your countries. You've been invaded. You're at war in your own countries. They're destroying your own countries. Take care of it. Stop worrying about other conflicts going on until you can fix your own problems.
Yeah, and I agree with that message wholeheartedly, and it was a really great speech that he had. But total different.
Hey, thanks, Rush. Don, I just wanted to retouch basically what the UN speech and how he called out the migration plan from, I think it was 2000 or 2001, the one that you in general have shared in the past. He called them all out, and he wasn't really speaking to the people in the audience. He was more speaking to the people that are in these countries. And you see it. Italy's, there's riots all yesterday and the day before. Do you see it in the Netherlands right now? There's crazy riots, and they all want remigration. So I mean, it's spreading quickly. I just it's a slow roll because they have like limited speech and get jailed for the most obscure things. You get a knock on your door, and you got these two British cops. One's a white blonde, and the other one's a Muslim with a hijab on, and they want to come into your house and arrest you for a tweet or confiscate your phone. So it's a slow rollout. We'll see it if they really try to push that here in the United States. I guarantee they're going to see a big pushback, especially if you try to attack the first and second. To the degree that we're seeing right now, it's almost a new bill introduced every other day. So. Yeah, I'll just land it there. I couldn't agree more with you guys.
I mean, and that's the thing. As disappointed as I am with Trump in the United States, Europe needs that. Europe needs the message that's coming from Trump, and really needs to push that over to the window in Europe and change the mindset of those people and wake them up to that they are being invaded, and you know, this is an invasion in every sense of the word. You know, I really don't understand why we haven't ramped up things in America. Maybe it is, just a logistics thing. Maybe it's a courts thing. Maybe it's the midterm elections. I'm not making excuses for them. But hearing that rhetoric versus the actions that we're receiving, I saw the Department of Homeland Security made this really hilarious post with the comedian, saying, "Heard you got deported. Sorry," and it showed all the people deported, and it was hilarious as it was. They changed the numbers. At one point, the numbers of people deported was 616,000. They've now changed the numbers to where it was 400,000 that have been deported. That's all that's been deported this year. 400,000. I mean, to me, it's pretty blackfilling because I really don't see a lot being done here in America.
They're including the self-deportations in that as well, because they have that program where they're paying them through the CBP app.
Right, that's the 1.2 million. But in that number, that also includes the people that are just leaving normally, that overstay their visa or here on a like foreign visas, a thing like that, and they were just leaving normally. And because there is migration back and forth typically, and they're counting all those people too. That's where they get that 1.2 million. It's not all deportations. It's to me that's travel. That's the reason they're careful with the wording. They'll say left.
Well, they're saying 2 million. So they're saying 1.6 million left self-deportations and 400,000 were actually grabbed up and forcibly deported. That's the numbers that they're pumping out right now. But how can we know? You know, that's the issue. Like they've played with these numbers so many times already. They stopped keeping track. You know, they stopped posting it on their website. Trump runs a bust at Hyundai plant. It's the biggest bust in ICE's history. And he turns around and tells them, well, you can stay. Like, wait, what? This is just, it's insanity. And it's super cringe. And it's pissing a lot of people off, which is good. Let it piss people off. Let it radicalize people. That's what needs to happen. People need to become radicalized and pissed about this and force Trump more. I mean, just make demands. We have to keep making demands and putting more and more pressure. And the more he does this kind of stuff, all it's going to do is, again, radicalize and put more pressure on him.
Hey, I'll drop down after this, but to General's point, I've seen so many different numbers. I don't know which ones to actually pay attention to. The latest I saw yesterday that it was Tom Homan was talking on I guess it was Fox. I think it was Fox. Yeah, it was Fox. He says he was saying the illegals in the United States is 400K deportations and 1.6 million self-deportations. He said, but he also said it's going to accelerate and the numbers are going to quote unquote explode. If we are paying these guys $1,000 to self-deport, we're talking billions, or almost. I mean, I think a million, 1,000 is 1 billion. So, yeah, it's taxpayer money. So I'm just curious as to how effective do you guys think this self-deportation thing is going to be, or if they're going to, like, you know, we gave you a year, you didn't self-deport, so now that offer's off the table, and now it's more going to be, you're going to get rounded up and taken out, because the numbers, I'm not liking the numbers.
Take my money.
Go ahead, Rush.
You could Rush to take his money. I love you, Rush.
Well, that's what they're doing. If they're catching these people, they're hitting them with all types of fines and fees for staying in the country for a certain amount of years. Like that one lady, they hit her with like a $1.2 million fine, and you know, and what that does is that allows them to confiscate all their assets here. So if they own homes and cars and whatever that they've built up here, they take all of that from them and prevent them from taking that with them when they leave. So that's what Trump's saying. Like, if you self-deport, then you can take your stuff and just get out. But the ones who actually get caught, they're gonna lose everything, and they're gonna have to go. But these people cost us more than. These people are costing us thousands of dollars every month. They're on food stamps. They're on welfare. They're on the health system. They're in the school system. They're putting wear and tear onto our society. So paying them $1,000 is nothing to get them out. I mean, yeah, I'd happily pay $1 billion to get, you know, 1 million of them out or whatever. That's more than fine with me. Get them all the hell out of our country. You know, we roughly have 100 million of these people that need to get the hell out that are here illegally. So, yeah, it will cost some money, but at the same time, how much money have we spent? We've spent trillions of dollars bringing these people here and propping them up. And, you know, I think Trump needs to go after the hotels. That's you know, these hotels have committed treason. They helped invade our country. The definition of treason is Uh-oh, we lost Rush. The definition of treason is giving somebody aid and comfort while they're invading your country. And all these hotels have committed treason, and he shouldn't allow them to even sell the hotels. He should confiscate them and sell them back to the American people who know how to run and operate them in a normal fashion. That's just my take on it. That's capitalism. Socialism is, giving these people a free pass for everything. And that we don't want to do that. Giving these people a free pass is what's destroyed America in the first place. And we gave them the money to buy those hotels to begin with. So, and I think the reason why he said he's going to accelerate this whole thing is because all those ICE agents that they took on board, right now they're in training. But once they finish training, there's going to be a lot more people out on the streets going after people across the country. And also he put all those military officers as judges, and he can put more. There's a lot more that he can keep adding to that. So if 600 isn't enough, I mean, he can add 1,000 or whatever. He just because he added that at the moment doesn't mean he can't add more and more over time if they need the backlog to be filled, because these people are costing us money. I mean, how much does it cost to hold one inmate in prison for 1 month? It's more than $1,000. I'll tell you that. So getting these people out and paying $1,000 to just leave is cheaper than going through all this stuff or allowing them to stay in our country. Rush, are you back up here? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I apologize. I have to switch off Wi-Fi. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, General. We gotta have a fight. There's going to be a financial burden in some way, and I thought that's why we had the big, beautiful bill that's going to put all that money towards immigration, and the defense budget could also be spent towards that. I was really hoping to see it spun up, but I mean, it very well may be, and there may be things set in place to where it can ramp up in the near future. So we'll soon see. I don't know if anyone saw that video yesterday, not to change subject, but of Macron. I guess Trump's motorcade was going through, and they didn't allow Macron's motorcade to go through. So he got all annoyed. He was calling Trump. And then he finally decided to walk. Because there's only like 2 blocks, and he's walking through the streets of New York. That to me was hilarious. I hate Macron, but just tie that to another bit of news that Bridget Macron, the very odd-faced woman that looks very similar to an uncle or something weird. I guess she is proving that she's a woman. I never really got those woman days, because if you look at pictures of her when she was younger, she doesn't really have those trans. But I guess she's provided now photo evidence in court as she's suing Candace Owens to prove that she's a woman. I mean, what kind of spectacle do we have when our world leaders' wives are in court? I mean, I feel like we live in wacko world.
There's another report here too that Jim Jordan introduced a new bill that would require American-born citizenship for both presidency and Congress. Put it up in the jumbo. So, I don't like Jim Jordan. He's a sellout, but this is a good bill. I agree with this 100%. What do you guys take on that?
Yeah, I mean, they at least have to be an anchor baby, I guess. That's good.
Yeah, it's a good move. Get this passed, and And then once we get birthright citizenship straightened out, we can start going on further than that. And people who are foreign-born aren't going to have a say. And, you know, they're not going to have a say in anything that goes on. We can start doing it piece by piece. It's a process, guys. This stuff doesn't just happen overnight. We didn't get here overnight. And a lot of people want solutions that will be all-in-one quick fix, and that doesn't work either, guys. Like, it's a process. We have to just keep moving towards it. Trump's 8 months in, and on the front of actually preventing people from getting inside, we are moving in the right direction. Even though he shit the bed with the H1B thing, he needs to just end the whole damn program, not play games with it.
Well, I'm not sure Twitter's total self here, but maybe there is something behind that Project Firewall. They are pushing that, specifically for the tech field, and it's going to possibly keep a lot of the Chinese and Indians out of our tech field, which would be pretty good. But I agree. I mean, every one of these things that we change in the H1B process, I mean, it's maxed out every year regardless. So I mean, you're just changing the industry that's going to max it out. In my opinion, I they just regulate one specific industry. But Frank, jump in there, buddy. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Rush. Good morning, General. Everybody else. Yeah, it's kind of crazy now that now they're saying they shouldn't be foreign-born or a dual citizen to hold highest office or any state that makes rules and laws. Like, that should have already just been a no-brainer already on the books. I don't understand why it's only now having to be implicated or implied. It's baffling. But yeah, kudos to Jim Jordan. I started out really liking him, but I did that with a lot of them, and quickly changed my tune. So, but yeah, that needs to be on the books.
Do we think that will pass though? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah, it will pass.
Would they be retroactively kicked out?
No, it will pass. It will pass. There's I mean, the Republican side is the dominant. I don't see how it could not pass. If they don't pass that, then you know, they're looking at war. This isn't a game anymore. Americans aren't gonna beg anyone for our sovereignty. We don't need to beg anyone for our sovereignty. We're demanding our sovereignty. And if you want to not give us our sovereignty, we have the Second Amendment to take out tyrants. Okay, Americans are demanding our sovereignty. We're done with this bullshit. We're done with the ADL telling us it's hate speech to be America first. We're done with Speaker Johnson running around and saying he's going to silence people who are America first. We're done with tyrants. The game is over. If you want to advocate and be up there like fat fucking Ted Cruz, sitting there saying my entire existence is designed to support Israel. Well, Ted Cruz, you're a brown piece of garbage who wasn't even born in America. You need to get the hell out of our country too. You know, remember that Ted Cruz was born in Canada to Cuban parents. He's not an American. But yeah, there's another one up here of Rep. Mark Harris, and he's calling to dethrone this judge who was involved with the Irina case. So that's pretty good as well. That we need to start getting rid of these DEI judges. Any excuse that we have to get rid of them, like in this case, push it forward, get rid of them one by one. Over the course of the next 4 years, just keep weeding them out, just keep removing them. You know, if we do this consistently over the course of 3 years, we can get 1,000 of them out of there, that will shift this whole issue that we have. And that's what needs to happen. We just need to keep removing these people consistently over the next 3 years. By the time the next election comes around, we'll have a lot of stuff straightened out. And I don't even know who's going to get in there next. If they put J.D. Vance in there, we're screwed anyways. Like, all of Trump's work is going to be destroyed. I would vote for DeSantis before I voted for J.D. Vance. Like, J.D. Vance is just a total shitbag. He runs around and stuff he says is good, but if you look at all the things that he's done to get to this point, he's not to be trusted at all. 0%. He said too many wonky things, like he doesn't like Trump because Trump is against Muslim immigration and it's going to hurt people he's close to. And like, wait, what? What are you talking about? He's all about immigration. That's the problem with J.D. Vance. Same thing with Marco Rubio. That's why they wanted J.D. Vance Marco Rubio ticket, because both of them will flood our country and they'll destroy the Republican Party from within. And that's why you got guys like Peter Thiel and all these other people who support that. Rush got disconnected. Yeah, Twiddle, go ahead.
No, General, this reminds me of another portion of the CRS stuff that I was looking into, because the DOJ does have a hand in this H1B stuff, and specifically they work with...
Cut out. Cut out, Twiddle.
Literally cut out.
Sorry, I keep getting muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know where I left off. I'll just start over it just real quick. So these guys at the DOJ, and I guarantee it's part of the CRS too, because they work. It's all pre-stuff. They try to undercut it. It keeps muting me. Damn it! All right. I'm gonna try this one more time. The H1Bs, they're working with the CHS. They have to be. The DOJ is in charge of it. You have the STEM programs, and you have the Employment Opportunity Commission. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to write it down instead of reading it. So the CRS is working with the DOJ here. I guarantee it, with the H1B programs. And I'm going to tie it to it. I'm going to focus some time on that today. But these guys are they're pushing it in, and they're taking apart all of these H1Bs. It's like 75% of the entire immigration is H1Bs. So it's getting taken advantage of to a very high degree, and the DOJ is definitely responsible, because they're the ones that control the rhetoric and the basically people getting pissed off and quashing all that stuff. So yeah, new fun deep dive for me to do today. That's awesome. So I'm gonna do that because these guys are this is awful. And then I'm watching how this is actually gonna get rolled out. Only charging a one-time $100,000 fee, and there's also a callback to India for a lot of these workers, but they're really just trying to crack down on just like the lower totem pole visas that come here to do auto body repair or just entry-level tech jobs. They want these jobs for Americans, and the other ones, they have to be vetted. Then to be vetted, you have to be able to afford to actually come in here. So yeah, this should be very interesting. This is a new hot topic for me: CRS, the DOJ, and the H1B issue. So I'm gonna see what I can dig up. Thanks.
Yeah, I saw that call back to India, but to me that just seemed like a a thing put out by the Indian government. I mean, they know that they're pushing their people onto the world like a bioweapon into all countries. I mean, it's not just the Western countries either. They're sending it to Africa, to the Middle East. They're spreading that bioweapon everywhere in the world, and their country lives off of remittances right now. And I think they see the West turning against them. So the country's putting out propaganda saying, "Come." They don't want those remittances back. They don't want those people back. They want them to not be kicked out of Western nations.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, and even the Indians that have been here for a long time, they're turning on the Indians too, because they're feeling the heat. So people like Harmeet Dillon, for example, she went out there and said, "What's this bigotry against American citizens who are Indian descent?" And it's like, yeah, well, you're all the same. We don't differentiate you from any other Indian. You're all the same. And you come here and you act completely vile and you do a bunch of retarded nonsense. We don't want you in our country. And so now what you're seeing is Indians in America, like they were kind of trying to go along to get along, and now they're being put on blast completely. They're telling the other Indians, don't come here. If you can't sit here like the Chinese and just keep your mouth shut and just do your work and go home, get out. Don't even bother coming here, because all you're doing is turning everyone in America against India. And now you have a massive amount of the American population who hate Indians now because of this H1B. I mean, all of MAGA went totally insane last Christmas time. They totally insane, lost their mind over this H1B. And now they did it again, and they've done it again. And now people are just like, cut all of India. Like, get rid of them. We're done. We don't want any Indians in our country. So that's a big problem. If India, because India only exists because we allow them to exist. They only have a tech industry because we built it for them. If we cut them off, they're done. And if all the Western world cuts them off and tells them to piss off, they're done. And that's what's happening, because they're pissing off everyone in the Western world. Nobody wants to do business with Indians. Nobody wants to deal with Indians. No one even wants to look at an Indian anymore. So why would they want to do any type of business deal with India when everybody in the country hates Indians? And that's the problem. That's why they're asking them to come home, because they've pissed off everybody in America, and there's not much Trump can do to keep it smooth much longer. They're going to have to just leave.
Should go home. I mean, it's crazy how quickly the Overton window is shifting in so many different directions. I never really imagined that things shifting this quickly. But I mean, a lot of things are coming ahead at once. So it's very white pilling to see. But also, speaking of Irina Zelensky and her murder in North Carolina. I guess they passed a law yesterday. They're calling it Irina's Law in North Carolina, and it's looking at sentencing guidelines and stuff for repeat offenders like this guy DeCarlos. I mean, this guy should never have been walking the streets. I saw someone broke down that vote, and it was crazy. All of the black North Carolina legislators, they had like 78% of them or something voted against it, and all the white legislators voted for it. I mean, it's crazy that we really are becoming more and more divided. I mean, to me, it's a little white pilling to see it. To show the stark contrast between communities. I mean, it doesn't matter what the community is. It really does seem like it's everyone against the ethnic Americans.
but it is white pilling to see they still were able to pass that law. But it's just crazy that so many of the North Carolina legislators just want to let these repeat offenders to continue to walk the streets because I guess black people commit a lot of crime. They're doing on the best of them. But the Dubs, I don't know if you, not to throw you in there, but I don't know if you were waiting to put your hand up or what. Did you want to jump in?
Oh, well, the topic has shifted many times, so I was just waiting for I guess.
Oh, yeah, no worries at all, buddy. I mean, we're doing a morning news show typically, so we're trying to announce all the morning news at the same time, connect it all together. Our topic typically does shift back and forth quite a bit because someone hears something, they want to go back to a previous topic. That's why I kind of like it. It's almost like a litmus test to the listeners. You have to be a high IQ, high cognitive thinking person in order just to listen to this. We enjoy those topic shifts. So if you want to go back to a topic we were talking about earlier, please feel free to. But
you guys were talking about Arena, right, or what?
Yeah, I think the latest topic was Arena. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna put this on the jumbotron. I just right before Charlie died, like an hour before, I made this post on his last tweet, and I was saying that the tech companies are really the ones pushing this message to the youth, and obviously we can't get through to the delusional liberals, the ones that are already grown, they're already fucked in the head. So the only hope really for the world is to help the youth to see that the people brainwashing them are liars. And the media really has a strong effect on the youth. Google, they rig their autocomplete results so that it always brings up negative information about conservatives, Christians, white people. And at the same time, it always brings up positive information about the woke agenda and all that shit. And the AI is going to make it much worse because they portray this message that it's super intelligence. And when kids believe that, it's like a digital god. And if people buy into this lie that it's real intelligence, it's going to fuck a lot of kids. And I'm just saying, like, we have to take out the media companies, Google, Apple, OpenAI, all of them are pushing it. They're like the Eye of Sauron. In order to stop it, we have to stop the Eye of Sauron. You can't just fight the orcs. If you fight the orcs, they just come back. We have to take out the Eye of Sauron, and that's the tech companies. I can't hear now.
I just think they might be tied up at the moment. But I mean, to your point, as the companies have a lot of responsibility, and this whole new program with this operation or the project Firewall, they're going to be doing like a lot. Well, these companies are going to be a lot more scrutinized. First off, they're going to be having a lot more audits. They're going to be having random stop-bys to make sure everyone is up to par. From what I was reading, I mean, it ties into a lot, and it's tying into the Department of Justice too. And I guarantee you that's going to tie into another agency and then another agency, because that's how my research has been working, and it sucks. But it's wild to see how much authority the DOJ has and where it casts its web, because these guys are coming in here. They're lying, they're cheating, they're obfuscating the entire process, falsifying documents. It's a mess. And it's going to get weeded out one way or another. And I guarantee you, with the more people the general was talking about, that they're going to have to go about this, that these companies are going to have a lot more random stops and a lot more people getting booted out so we can have more jobs for ethnic Americans. That's just where I'm at.
You just have to look at who owns those companies. You've already pointed out they're Jewish, but they're also a bunch of like gay, atheist, vegans, like they hate meat. And that's like the world, that's what's happening to the youth. It's mirroring, the youth is mirroring exactly the owners of these companies, if you see. And I just see that there's no way we can be free unless you stop them from pushing the message to the media, the social media companies, especially Google.
Yeah, I mean, this is the propaganda that we talk about. I like calling it war levels of propaganda because, I mean, this isn't just simple, sell you a soap type of advertising propaganda. I mean, this is manipulate and change your understanding of the world level of propaganda. And there's multiple avenues. It's not only in your Google search results, it's in the news media that we receive. I mean, it's in the movies and TV that you consume. It's in every single aspect of our society. The brainwashing. So, yeah, no. If you think that get them to stop propagandizing us, I don't. Yeah, to me, that would be a huge government endeavor to do. I mean, because they're so deeply ingrained now with smartphones, with all of your automatically consenting to terms and conditions without even realizing it. The age of information and control are already there. I was 5 years ago. I was talking on the phone. All right, I wasn't even talking on the phone. Or I was just talking in the vicinity of my phone about my dishwasher breaking, and then I opened up the social media app and I had an ad for Lowe's Home Depot dishwasher, and so now they're going to tie in the propaganda with the information gathering that they've already been doing on our phones and our input, every single thing you input into your phone. I mean, to me, the only way to keep yourself out of it is to go full Amish and completely disconnect from the internet and cell phones and live in a world outside of those conveniences, which to me I think is a positive thing. I mean, the Amish seem to be pretty happy and doing pretty well as civilization. The general's not talking, is he?
No.
To me, it shows his mic's
I'm just going through my feed right now to see if we can cover anything besides Trump's deal yesterday at the UN, which was good. I liked his message.
Really great message. It was an amazing speech. And it's funny to hear MAGA loved it. It was funny to hear like liberals bashing that speech and CNN bashing the speech. Their coping mechanisms are so pathetic. But does no one remember who called this yesterday? I think it may have been the less. They released the Tylenol thing, and people immediately started doing the Tylenol. It's just mind blowing that, I mean, because this isn't a thing Trump put out. And someone, I think Jack Posobiec retweeted Tylenol putting this out in 2017, and it's just crazy to me that these liberal women hate the GOP so much they would rather give their children autism than there's no reason for them to do that. I guess they're just giving their children autism to show the GOP. I mean, it's complete mental retardation. I mean, this is the mental caliber that we're trying to save here in America. Unfortunately, trying to wake up.
Yeah, when you posted that yesterday, I would, okay, you got it in the Jumbotron. Yeah, guys, look at this. It's at the top. He literally is telling people don't take Tylenol while you're pregnant. It's not about all the time, but don't take Tylenol while you're pregnant. It's causing a bunch of problems, not just autism, but ADHD and a couple other things. So if you have a risk of that, he's not saying this is the smoking gun that causes autism. He's saying this plays into many health issues for children, so don't do it. He says he's still gonna go into the vaccines and dig into that. They don't have enough data on that just yet to release it, which is, from a medical standpoint, you have to have a lot of data to back up your claims. Otherwise, they'll come in and just run you over. So you can't just jump the gun and say we're ending all vaccines because we think we have this little piece of data. They're building a case like anything else. So, but yeah, that's why I put the meme underneath where Trump says, "Don't drink your piss." And what do the liberals do? They run out and start drinking their own piss. No matter what Trump tells them not to do, they're gonna do it just to defy. It's unbelievable. And this is RFK. RFK is not. He's a freaking Democrat. Like, he's a lifetime Democrat. RFK is the one doing this, not Trump. Trump gave him the authority to do it, but again, RFK is a lifetime Democrat. He's not some right-wing crazy Nazi like they all call it Trump and all this stuff. This isn't even Trump doing this. It's RFK. So yeah, it's just a retardation from the left. These people are cooked. I don't know if there's any saving this. The only thing that I see is most of these women look like Hispanics and Asians, so good on them. Let them make their kids retarded.
Well, I mean, they use that autism as like a virtue shield. I saw this news report yesterday where it was talking about them trying to arrest this illegal migrant, and he was locked away in his house. And they said they made his kid, because they're making the kid wait outside where they're trying to arrest this guy. They held his autistic kid outside the home while they tried to coerce him outside. I mean, it's like they use the autism that they're giving everyone. They use it as another virtue signal for that specific group of people. I mean, the story of China where she was on the playground and the 8 or 9-year-old was stealing toys away from her 2-year-old toddler, and she dropped the N-bomb on him. Their defense to that 8-year-old is, oh, he was autistic. I mean, yeah, we get it. Autism is a behavioral issue, and I understand it does take a lot of difficulty to coerce through. And the thing that is frustrating is knowing that these corporations, these pharmaceutical companies, all enrich themselves in many cases, likely knowing that this was are already out there. I mean, if we knew as a populace, they knew through VAR's research and other things. They've known for a long time, and they still continue to. I mean, to me, the vaccines are different than the Tylenol thing. like Tylenol said, we don't recommend you taking any of our products while you're pregnant. You know, so I mean, you know, there are things kind of getting convoluted there, but I mean, some of these companies, to me, the vaccine companies, people that are producing vaccines and forcing children to get hepatitis C vaccines. And, you know, 48 hours old, they do not have the best interests of the American people in heart.
Yeah, and I did see, it looks like North Carolina House passed the IRENA's law and cashless bail. So there's no more cashless bail, which is that's a big move. It's going to prevent a lot of those guys from getting out. But yeah, I don't know. At Twiddle, I saw you try to come up, try to request again. I couldn't get to your hand before you dropped down, or your request.
Is that all that was in there? I thought there was some sentencing stuff in there also.
Could be.
I mean, because this guy wasn't out on bail, was he?
No, I think that's how they go. I think that's how they get these guys to go in and out constantly, and they don't have to actually put up cash. They just get out and then they roam. So I don't know. I don't know the full significance of, or the full scope of what they had included, and I put it up in the Jumbotron. You can look at it. I mean, do autistic kids say crazy stuff? I mean, I'll tell you what, the funniest, we had a kid in our class growing up and he had Tourette's. And it was the funniest damn thing ever when this kid would just all of a sudden out of nowhere in the middle of class start belting out crazy nonsense. And I didn't know autistic kids do that too. I thought that was kind of like a Tourette's type deal.
Yeah, apparently they do. I mean, I know someone that was going through, and they had a young daughter that was having behavioral issues, and so they take the girl to an autism center, and yeah, I'm pretty sure if you took me to an autism center, they would diagnose me with autism. So they diagnosed her with autism, and then they also, because of their behavioral issues, they used that autism diagnosis to put them on all kinds of like SSRIs and stuff, and you know, and then I believe it even increased to like Valium. And you know, I just voiced my concerns to the parents, and got completely ostracized. I mean, I don't believe in the medical profession in a lot of ways. I mean, to me, the kid just needed more discipline in their life. The father was the discipline figure, and you know, they had the separation and the divorce and stuff, and the kid's getting no discipline because everyone's placating to the kid, trying to, you know, that whole divorce, you love me more mentality, and you know, that really is the horrible thing is you know, parents having their own issues will go into the children, obviously, and then the children can just go to the doctor and get validation. No, this isn't because of our home life. This is because of the medical thing, and we can just throw a drug at it. I mean, it's our medical system is completely screwed over. But Overwatch, good morning, buddy. Good to see you. Jump in.
Good morning, guys. I just had a question, kind of, in a white pill. You know, the thing in North Carolina is, you know, all these white liberals that, you know, oh, well, some of the black people are good, you know, so that with that split vote on that law, that's a good white pill for them to wake up and say, look, these people will vote to kill you, you know. And to all these good white liberals, especially the white female liberals, that, you know, oh, that you voted, a lot of you voted these black folks in. You know, it wasn't all black people that voted all those black people in, maybe a majority, but still, these people will straight up vote to kill you, to genocide you. And so that's a good example for them. The other question I had was,
So, particularly in North Carolina, did they pass a law to start doing no bail, or did they just start doing it? Because one thing that frustrates me is society is one way. We start doing the, liberal woke-tard stuff, and then to fix it, we have to pass another law. Like, why can't we just go back and start doing the right thing? Why do we always have to have another law? But maybe they had to undo it. I don't know. General Rush?
Yeah, I don't know if they had a law or not, or it was just, like you said, the change in public sentiment. But they have been constantly passing legislation for that. So, I mean, if it was already in legislation, they would have repealed that law. So, yeah, like it is crazy that we just get more and more government bureaucracy on top of it. But yeah, to me, it was a white pill seeing the split down the middle. I mean, America is becoming more and more aware that something the black community already knows. But the ethnic Americans in this country are becoming more and more aware every day. Another little bit of news yesterday: the guy who tried to assassinate Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I apologize. I'm at a horrible point right now where I can't look up his name. I'm forgetting that guy's name. What is that guy's outside of Mar-a-Lago? Tell me with Overwatch.
The Ukraine connected guy.
Brian Ruth thinks, Frank, that had connections to Ukraine, tried to use a Dragunov, the Russian-style weapon to kill Donald Trump. Well, that guy got convicted yesterday on gun charges, not, assassinating the president charges. They're like just the part of his case on gun charges. And after his conviction, he pulled the pin off the desk and tried to stab himself in the neck with it. I guess we'll see this guy being Epstein very soon. But it's funny to see that trial going through the court.
Hey, I'll chime in real quick about the autism thing. My parents split up when I was about 10, and it was pretty hard on me, and I acted out a lot. And of course, my mom had me see a child psychologist, and he needs to be on Ritalin. So she went, got tried to get me on it, and she'd say, okay, you need to take it. And I'd be like, because she'd forget, and then I'd be acting wild, and she'd be like, oh, here, take the pill, and I'd take it and spit it out when she wasn't looking. Like, I'm a kid, I'm just being a kid, sorry I was being wild in the back seat, I'll calm down, Ritalin's one of the most overprescribed drugs when you talk to just about anyone anyone in that profession about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, because of the medical system and these pharmaceutical companies, it comes through in waves, There was a wave in the late 90s, early 2000s, where Ritalin was extremely overprescribed. And then I think eventually that got replaced with the Adderall, and I think Adderall is being extremely overprescribed on our society. And I mean, we all know the OxyContin phase of the doctors, where they overprescribed OxyContin for so many years and caused the opioid epidemic in America. I mean, and it all ties back to the doctors and these pharmaceutical companies. Both of them are enriching themselves, and to me, it's sad on the doctors because it goes against their Hippocratic oath. It's really pitiful in our government allowing these pharmaceutical companies to do this to the American people. But
Hey, have y'all talked about the ostrich Holocaust in Canada yet? Have y'all seen that going on?
I've seen it, and I've seen a couple of the videos off of it, but why are they executing all the ostriches? The lady doesn't have the correct permits or something?
Well, something about the bird flu, I was kind of trying to catch up on it, but basically, I think she's trying to do some kind of engineering or something so that they're resistant, or there's some kind of medical tie-in. But basically, they came out and said, yeah, they all got the bird flu or something, and they all got to be killed. And she quarantined them, and it's been months and months and months. So obviously they didn't die. So obviously they don't have the bird flu. But the state's coming in, oh, they all got to die. So I don't really know what's behind it, other than just to be totalitarian and say because we freaking said. But she's basically proved that the excuse that the state says they need to die is bullshit, and people are starting to show up on the site to protest it. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, they want to go in and kill all these ostriches for no reason. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that flying squirrel story here in the States. That's what bothers me the most. I mean, the state has no problem pulling you over for speeding or traffic violations or enforcing these regulations on animals. But at the same time, they'll completely ignore our immigration laws, our labor laws in regards to illegal immigration, and it's crazy how they pick and choose what laws they want to enforce and what laws they want to push down on. But yeah, I saw the latest in the ostrich massacre. They're setting up the walls of hay bales to lay fire on them. They're not going to euthanize them all. They're going to shoot them all. I mean, how difficult is it going to be to humanely put down an ostrich with a rifle? I mean, those are some tiny little heads to pluck off. But I mean, that's horrible.
Good luck with a headshot on one of those things.
Exactly. Yeah, they're no joke. I mean, they can an ostrich can jack you up. So, but yeah, we just need to use the rhetoric back on them and say, call it a Holocaust. You know, it's the ostrich Holocaust, and start putting that out there. Because somebody took a photograph of two of the officials out there, and they look exactly like the totalitarian freaks you'd imagine. Both of them are white guys, and so somebody got face shots of them and put them on blast out there. But yeah, just creepy totalitarian Canadian government freaks.
It looks like everyone's excited about that bill in Florida, and everybody's calling it for nationwide for that bill, which that is Luna's goal. Her target is to get this at a nationwide, all 50 states, for the death penalty for pedophiles. Just a good start. And a lot of people are pissed that it says 12 and under. But again, guys, you got to start somewhere. You start there, and then you can start moving the age around once you get it passed. But you got to get it going first. Yeah, let me read Frank. Go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, I remember when that ostrich farm, and of course it's Scandinavia, which I like to call it because it's so friggin' socialist up there. I remember when it first kicked off, it was pretty sad, but I hadn't heard so much about it in so long. I thought it blew over. But another thing the farmers also bring up a lot of the times is these inspectors. They spend all day going to different farms, and they I forget the technical term, but they basically contaminate the other farm. You know, when they're around all these livestock, and then they don't undress or decontaminate themselves before going to another farm. And the farmers are saying that's a big problem too, because these inspectors aren't even using proper protocols.
Yeah, I don't know. Canada's so jacked up. Who knows what the hell they're doing? They have bigger problems than worrying about ostriches. They're sending 100 million doses of fentanyl across their border. Priorities. All right, Guy, you got your hand up. Go ahead, jump in there. right, go ahead, Overwatch.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys greetings from Houston, where it's at 5 a.m. it was 80 degrees and 80% humidity. It's horrible. I checked Missouri and it was like 60 something degrees this morning and much less humidity. But yeah, it's all the benefits of a tropical environment with no beach. That's Houston.
Galveston's only 25 minutes away.
Yeah, with beautiful chocolate milk colored water, usually.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know.
I surfed it.
I don't know how the hell you guys live down there. We weren't meant to live in that environment. I wasn't. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating about the ocean water, but if you go to Alabama or east and then come back here, you're ruined forever, pretty much, for the water clarity.
All right, let's see here. Rush got disconnected. He'll be back in a couple minutes. Eric, you came back up. What do you got?
Hey guys, how you doing? Good evening from Saigon. 100% Saigon.
What does that mean?
I'm in Saigon.
Okay.
It's 1856.
How hot is it over there in Saigon?
80s, pretty much 80s. Rainy season is ending. There's only 2 seasons in South Asia. You got the rainy and the dry season. 80, 90 degrees every day.
I mean, how the hell do you end up in Saigon?
Well, because I'm an expat, and I guess I'm public enemy number 1 according to United States corporate INC guy. ADL has me on a list of, they call me a sovereign citizen. So that's all your Esquire, FBI. Yeah, they thought it was cute to arrest me with the J6ers. Anybody want to really know what the J6ers are and are not?
All right, so what do you got?
Well, they're basically military operations. January 6th was not done by the radical liberal left.
Yeah, we're aware.
It's basically a military operation.
Okay.
So they thought it would be lock me up with the Proud Boys. Wow, what a name.
Well, didn't Trump exonerate all you guys? So what are you doing in Saigon?
Yeah. No. I was there I'm a New York City 9/11 first responder. My wife is from Wuhan, China, so I know something about that. And then I also know something about the Capitol on January 6th. January 6th was a military operation. Military. Not left, not right, not liberal, not conservative, not red, not blue.
So you're
military.
What's your how was that in Wuhan, China, when all that stuff went down?
I wasn't there. I lived in Wuhan in 2004 till spring of 2005. Then my future wife and I moved to Shanghai. So 12 years in Shanghai, traveling all over the world except going back to the U.S. And I went back to the U.S. for 2016 to 2005, 9 years, and I'm gone again. I'm never coming back there. And I just want to give you one insight. I spoke with an Aussie guy, Italian people, but nobody in their right mind wants to go back to the so-called quote-unquote West. Canada, US, Italia, France, Nobody wants to be there.
Okay, what's your ethnic background?
Italian, French, Catholic, Native American, Irish, Scottish, all that nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you, I completely understand why you puss out and run out of not want to fight for the country with a background like that.
I mean, what? Like, what's that mean? I mean,
it means you're.
I'm a New Yorker. Go ahead.
It means you're a pussy.
What? Because I'm from New York?
No, because you ran like a bitch.
Ran to where?
Saigon.
Well, I live in Phu Quoc. Wait, I ran. So wait. Somebody just, what do you mean I ran?
You ran like a bitch.
Do you understand the United States is a corporation? It's the biggest terrorist corporation on earth. What do you know about the UCC?
Okay, so let's talk about this. You're too pussy to stay and fight and try to fix your nation.
Whoa!
So you just run like a bitch.
No.
Yeah, you're a bitch.
Wait, you do understand that borders are fake, correct?
Yeah, you're a bitch. You don't want to fight for America, and that.
I don't want to fight. What do you mean I want to fight? Wait. America? Do you understand? There's no definition of America. You know the international. You know America is defined from Canada down to South of. Right. Go ahead. So you got to define America. Define America. Define America.
America is a nation of people, of ethnic American people.
White people, Christian. Are you going to pull that?
Yeah, it's an ethnic identity, and it's a nation of people.
What's the legalese definition and Black's Law definition of nation?
Of what?
What is the definition of nation according to Black's Law Dictionary? Because you're going to try to play legalese with me.
No, I'm not playing legalese.
Ever going to work. Yes, you are.
The etymology of the term nation is a group of people of the same race, culture, heritage, lineage.
Yeah, but the United States was never a nation. It's a nation state. It's
always
incorporated. Hey, I'm an enemy of the United States.
Yeah, that's
so
clear.
Call the FBI. Call the FBI. And don't call me a communist. Don't call me a leftist.
No, I didn't call you any of those things. I called you a bitch.
I am an anarchist. No, I'm an anarchist.
No, you're a bitch.
I don't have a vagina.
Yeah, you might as well.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Are you Christian?
Look, man, you ran from America because you're too much of a pussy bitch to actually fight for
America, there is no, you don't even know the definition of America.
Yes, I do. I just told you, it's a nation of people.
Okay, and give me the metes and bounds.
Okay, well, as the founding fathers clearly laid it out.
Founding fathers, wait. The Bible says don't call anybody father, so fuck you. No, there's no okay. They are not my founding fathers. I have one father.
Okay, the founding fathers of the United States of America are very clear about what an American is. And it's not you. So you don't have to worry about it. Just enjoy your time over in Saigon.
I've been living in Asia 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And I've been unlike you, who's never lived and worked. You might have gone on a Disney cruise down to the Caribbean.
Really?
Typical American. Yeah, that's all you've ever done, at best.
Really?
Okay, where have you lived and worked?
I've lived and worked all over the world. I'm in international business, retard. And I'll tell you, you running out of America and then turning around and saying,
again,
America
definition of America
is a terrorist. America's the biggest terrorist.
I said United States, all caps. Are you a lawyer? Are you an S-lawyer?
Oh my God.
Do you have a degree? Oh, I bet you have a degree, don't you?
Look, Eric, you're a traitor to America.
Oh, a traitor! Wait, to America again.
Yeah,
give
to
us,
the American
give
people.
the audience.
To the American people.
Well, I'm part.
You're not American.
Maltese.
You're not American, and you're just an enemy of the people, and you're a bitch. You don't want to fight for a future. You just want to run like a bitch. And I didn't call you a communist or a socialist or whatever the hell. I just called you a bitch because that's what you are. You're a bitch. We don't want a bunch of bitches around here. We want to save our nation. We want hardened men that will stay and fight for the future of our people, the ethnic American people. Not the guy who thinks America is a terrorist state and thinks that all Americans are bad and there's nothing worth fighting for. So you ran off and married your Saigon, Wuhan, Xinjiang, and just demonizing America with your bullshit propaganda because you married a fucking Xinjiang. Like, dude, piss off. Don't come back. Please, never come back. You're not welcome. We don't want you back. We don't want people that run off like a bunch of bitches. And then when you leave us here to fix all the problems, and then someday you want to return. You're not welcome back ever. Stay in Xinjiang, Wuhan, China, or Saigon, or wherever the hell you are. See how that works? We don't need you. We don't want you. And apparently, if you're American and you fight for your people's existence in America, that makes you, I don't know, what do you say, Jewish or a lawyer or someone with a degree who's educated, or I don't know. The guy's good. But yeah, go ahead, Overwatch. You can jump in there. I'd like your opinion on that wildness.
Yep, 100% agree. Ran like a bitch. But, you know, it is what it is. And unfortunately, there's millions of people like that. They don't want to stay and fight. I'll land it.
Yeah, they want us to fight for it. They want us to fix it. And then they want to return with their Xinjiang wives and all this shit. They're not welcome back. We don't want them. It's that simple. Corvus, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, it sounds like it's a perfect place for him. He got his Chinese wife and he's over in Asia. And, you know, that's one less problem we have here, I guess, right? So, yeah, I mean, the traitors amongst us, you know, I wish more of them would do exactly what that fella did, you know, just deport yourself. Perfect.
Well, it's funny because his profile said non-American citizen, and then he claimed to be an expat. The cognitive dissonance is real. Those people got cooked. You know, that's the crazy thing is, I don't know how the hell you end up that crazy and cooked out. And then he cries, "Don't call me a communist." No, you're not a communist. You're just a bitch. But Case, you came up. What do you got?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you because you were asking the right questions, but I was so curious. Did he surrender his passport? Is he real about this, or is he like a total bitch? And I guarantee you he's using American dollars that he's making from his offshore job or retirement pension or something like that, because, you know, you move to Asia or any country with a retirement pension and recurring direct deposit into a foreign bank, and you live like a king, you know. And I know people who do this. They go to Nicaragua, get a Nicaraguan wife, bring her back, and it's horrible. And you know, these people are not man enough to find a wife that looks like them and make a family that looks like them. They just abandon their country, move to a place where it's just degenerate there. You know, nothing good is happening in Vietnam. That's where we get our soccer balls from. And I guarantee he still has an American passport. He didn't become a full Vietnamese citizen.
I don't even think he can become a Vietnamese citizen. His wife is Chinese from Wuhan. I don't know. But then the problem is these guys run like bitches, and then they become our enemy. And then all they want to do is demonize America and make it worse for the people who stayed to fight and to clean up the mess. He was complaining about J6, and he wasn't even here or involved with it, but it's got it in his bio and claims he was all this and that, and then COVID, and he ran off. Like, we're fighting. I see Lindsay down there. She's fighting this whole COVID battle right now. We're Americans. We stay and fight. We don't run like bitches with our tail between our legs. When you have problems and you have an enemy that's being thrust upon you, you have to fight back. They do it, and it takes all of us to fight back and stand up to the system. And it's not easy. It's not easy. People get killed every day doing this. Look at Charlie Kirk. They assassinated him in front of everybody. They tried to kill Trump more than once. They go after people. If you speak up, they try to go after you. Or they give you a clot shot that tries to kill you that way. And if you fight back, then they do everything they can to silence you with retardation. I did see that YouTube, which is connected to this COVID stuff. YouTube just announced yesterday that they're going to allow content creators back on that were pushed out under the Biden administration for having opposite views or whatever. I'm pretty sure that will include some of the COVID people that got kicked off of YouTube for mentioning things that they didn't like, or guys like Elijah Schaefer or whatever, all these other guys that got put off of YouTube because they spoke the truth, and they don't like that. So, but we're fighting back, and now they're forcing YouTube. This is Trump administration forcing YouTube to take these people back onto their platform, and he's preventing them from silencing people as easy. They still will censor people. We know it. Like, we know there's no such thing as 100% freedom of speech. However, like on this platform, you can talk about COVID issues without getting nuked. You can talk about political issues without getting nuked. There's certain things you can't do, like make violent threats or things like that. But there's enough freedom of speech on here to educate people about all the issues that we've been having, and we can fight back instead of just running off and hiding